Hello and welcome to video number 4 in the 6-part series of how to write, illustrate and publish a children's storybook for free. So video number 4, we're going to deal with the content file. I told you at the beginning, if you remember in video 1, that when you come to publish at the end in KDP, you have to have two separate files. One is the cover and one is the content, which is everything in between the cover. So if you want a visual, we're talking this bit waggling about in the middle. Right, and we're going to do that, put it all together, so all the illustrations you've created so far, all the text you've got in your head and written down, I'm going to put all that together in Canva. Think of it like an artist's studio, and it's just really exciting because you get to see everything coming together and you get a real vision of what your book is going to look like. And here we are in Canva with, I think, the easiest way to make a book file and to put it into single pages ready for its upload to Amazon KDP. Right, the first thing you have to do, you'll see here I've opened 2 tabs in Canva, identical. In the first one, I want you to create a design which is a double page spread. Now, if I'm going to do, say, for example, a book which I want to be 8 by 8 inches, always put in the units first. A double page spread will be 16 by 80. If you were doing, for example, a 10 by 10 or any other measurement, you just double the width. And there we are. So here is our 16 by 8 double page spread. Now, to make life easier, go to File here, go to Settings and Show Rulers and Guides. Puts a ruler down here and a ruler across here, so you can see this is indeed 16 by 8, and you can pull these rulers across 0 to 16, so you can see that's 16 inches wide, and I can pull this here, and when it goes pink, there we are, you know it's halfway, but also if you look at the top of the ruler there, you'll see it measures 8 inches. Right, the next thing I want you to do is go to File again and click Settings and go down here to Show Print Bleed. There. Now what Canva has done is add this extra little margin here all the way around the book, the top, the bottom and the 2 far sides. And that extra little margin is the bit of paper which is, when you make a book, it's trimmed off. If you want your illustrations to go right to the very edge of your pages, like for example this one here, right to the very edge, you have to make sure that they go over this line and to the edge here. And that way, when that margin is trimmed off, your drawing or illustration will be to the edge of that piece of paper or that page. And that also means that not only do you need to do that to make sure that your illustrations get to the edge of the page, but it also is a bit of a warning to let you know, don't have anything important there because it's going to get chopped off. The middle is what we call the gutter. You can see here, nothing is trimmed here. Okay, so the width of each page is 8 inches, which is to here, plus 1 trim margin, which is 0.125 inches or 3.2 millimeters. The height of each page is 8 inches plus the top margin of 0.125 inches and the bottom margin of 0.125 inches. So armed with those measurements, what we can now do is go to our other tab in Canva here and create a new design for the single page files, which will be 8.125 width, we've just worked out, and 8.25 height. Here we are. This is what it looks like. And this will be the file all of the pages that you put here, which will be uploaded to Amazon KDP for publishing. So let's go back to our double page. This is where we're going to have fun and do the final designs, which is all very exciting. So now that we've done the sort of serious trim stuff, we can move on to having some fun. Right, so the first thing we want to upload, I think, is probably, let's have a look at uploads here. You've already scanned your illustrations into your computers, and what you do now is you upload your files, if you haven't already done so, by pressing this button here, and then you just find the ones you want to upload, and they appear here. Right, now first of all I'm going to go for the easy peasy one, which is the single page illustration. So on my uploads I'm going to put this one, just pull it across, or you can just click it. You need to click it once, and then you just push it to the very edges, pull it down, decide which bit you want. Right, that is a single page spread right there. I know the handles aren't lined up yet. You decide where you want it on the page. So I'm going to say, if I was going to do this as a single page spread, it would just be that bit there. Lost a bit of his tail, so let's push it across a bit. Okay, I'm not going to get the entire tail in, I think, as well as the wing, but anyway, there we are. I'm going to pull it down a bit. So let's take that up to the outer edge. Let's line everything up so that it's tidy. And there we are. So this is a single page illustration. On the other page you can leave it white and just put some text in, or you can put a colour in. I quite like the idea of having some colour, so I'm going to click on that. You always click on the bit you're going to work on, and then I'm going to put down here background. It suggests some colours here. I'm going to look at, or you can use any of these actually, so this is quite pretty. And the background they suggest will always get stuck to whatever your canvas is. So it goes literally, I'll show you, under the picture. Always goes underneath whatever you've got on the page. Obviously that's not suitable for here. Let's delete background, get rid of it. What we want is just a plain colour. I'm going to go to this palette. Canva chooses colour palettes from the picture, but I'm going to go for here, the rainbow, and it shows you can just fiddle around here, moving this up and down to choose whatever colours you want. But I'm actually going to use this pipette, which I love. I'm going to choose this very pale pink here, and there we are. It picks a colour from the picture, which is lovely. And then I obviously need to put some text in. I'm going to add a text box. Let's move it here. I'm going to make it larger. I don't like that font for this picture. And never forget that fonts are a form of illustration as well. So choose a font that complements your picture. So I chose for my book Dino Puff because I think the sort of roundness of the font complements the sort of roundness of the dragon. I just quite liked it. You don't need to have it black either. That's always the default, isn't it? But what about, I don't know, let's have a look here. If you have a look here, you'll see what Canva does, which is very clever. It looks at your photo and it picks colours from the photo. So I could pick that dark green. There we are. And there it is, your paragraph text. All the choices you make from now on are completely subjective, so that's entirely up to you what you do. Right, let's just take this out. Now I just want to make sure that everything is right to the edge. Now, what you have to do next, when you've made all your subjective choices and you're happy with your double page spread, and of course you've done the entire book, is you then have to put it in a single page file, which you've just created for Amazon KDP. So let's move the picture first. These little buttons here relate to the page. If you right click, you get the buttons that relate just to the illuminated object on the page. So in this case, the picture. So I'm going to, if I duplicate it, it will just give me another copy on the page, look, like that, which I don't want. So I can delete that. What I want to do is copy that onto the digital clipboard. Then I go to my other file, which is the correct page size for a single file, right click it, and I'm going to put paste. And there we have exactly the correct sized illustration on the page. And we can do the same thing with the background here. Copy, add page, paste, and we can do the same thing for copy, paste for the text. So you can amend your text here, and this is one of the advantages of doing things this way rather than taking your double page file, downloading it and then re-uploading it. If you do it like this, your text is still active. So if you've made a mistake, even after you've published it, you can come back to this file in Canva and you can alter it. But what you can also do is move it around, so there is bang in the middle of the page. You want it to be a bit higher, it goes up there, down there, whatever. These are subjective choices, preferences for you to make. That's in the middle, left to right. Now we want it in the middle. There it is. Click off, and there you get an idea of what your text is going to look like. So that was, I think, really easy. Right, now let's look at how to make a double page spread. So let's use this one. You either click it or you drag it across. So I'm going to just pull this one out to make it fit. And I'm going to take this all the way across to here. So this is not how I would arrange this illustration on the page. I just want to show you how to chop it into two halves. However, I would point out that we've lost quite a lot of the crocodile there, so I'm going to just move him up a bit, and I'm bringing this handle down, being careful not to get tangled up with the ruler, and I'm going to bring this one down. Now, checking all my edges, my illustration is lined up with the outer edge, which is good. So to split this into one page here and another page here, what you do is you right click, you duplicate the page, and what Canva does very helpfully is just nudge it slightly out of alignment so it's easy to find it. So there we are, like that. So I'm going to just pull it in a bit here so that it's easy for me to find and line it up. And then I'm going to pull it all the way back to here. I'm going to put the ruler back in. There, so that is the center, that is lined up, and then I'm going to click on this one, which at the moment goes all the way across. I'm going to pull this slightly down, click on this one, and then you can see I've got the handle here for this background photo. I'm just going to pull that across to the center where it's gone pink. And then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to move it back up so it's all aligned. I'm going to click to the side. Let's have a look. I'm going to remove my ruler. Seem to have two to get rid of the ruler. And then let's see what's going on. And I think you can see that's pretty well aligned, but if you want to have a really close look, you can zoom in. And that to me looks pretty perfect. Right, so then what you do you've got two separate pages here, one here and one here. So you right click this one, copy, go back to here and paste. And there it is. Get rid of the background. Take the left-hand page, copy, and paste. And if you want to double check that they are exactly as you thought they were on the double page, just pull this one back a little bit here, duplicate this one, make it a bit smaller so you can see, and then just take this one, line it up here, and there you are. You can see that that will be perfectly in alignment. That was just a double click on this one, which then shows you the entire picture. So we don't need this. I can delete that. Delete and move this one back. And this one is already in a perfect position. And then if you want to put some, obviously some text on here, let's make this a bit bigger. Text box, put it here. I'm going to make that, actually I think I'll leave that black. We've got a black here from the cave. And then obviously this you can just copy and pop it in here. Paste. That's it. And I think that's fine where it is. Now, although you could just put your text in when you get to this file here, I would always put it in on the double page spread so that you can see what the double page looks like in its entirety, because that's how you're going to read it. You're not going to read it one page at a time. You're going to read it as an open book, one page next to the other. Right, so what if you want to do as I did, which is have something in between a whole page spread and a single page spread. Let's look at this one. I'm going to put this over here, this side for once. And I'm going to just pull it out. I want to pull it beyond the outer margin so that we get rid of that grey bit. And there we are. It needs to come down a bit more, so let's make it a bit larger. There we are. And that's fine. It goes through Lottie's hair a bit, so I'm going to just shove it that way. A bit there. So it's just going behind her. I can't see the handle here, so all you do is you just make it a little bit smaller. So that you can see it, and then you can pull it in to line it up. There we are. So this is a page which obviously I'm going to have to split 3/4. So this is possibly a more difficult one. So what I'm going to do is, as before, let's pull that out so it lines up properly. I'm going to duplicate on this page. What am I going to do here? I'm going to pull this back a little bit so I can still see where the handles are, but place this directly on top of the other picture. And then I'm going to pull this back to the halfway there. And then I'm going to click on this picture. I'm going to move this down. Still lined up, but just straight down. I'm going to click on this picture. So I've got this handle here, and I'm going to pull that back to the center line. And then I'm going to this picture, and I'm going to move it back up. Click over here. Let's have a look. Get rid of the ruler. What have we got? Are we lined up? Yes, we are. So You can see I've got that on this page and that bit on this page. And then here, obviously, you can put in background. Let's choose, I don't know, let's have a look in our palette, colour palette. Let's go for one of these sort of, no, let's go for a pale green up here. There we are. And let's put in some text there, make it larger. And let's change the colour of the text. Why not? We'll make it grey. Oh, no, that's too pale. I have to make it darker than that, even though this is just an experiment. Come on, highlight, that's it. So let's make it darker. How about this colour? There we are. And again, let's make it so that it lines up. That's halfway down that bit there. Now the guidelines are halfway down the page and halfway across the page, not halfway across this little bit here. So if you're doing something like this, you can only correct it to halfway down the page. You can't, so you just have to eyeball it to make it in the middle there. Right, so let's put this all into our single file. We'll right click on this, we'll copy it onto our clipboard, take it over, add a page here, paste, perfect fit. I'm so delighted. And here, so we've got three elements here. You've got that piece of the picture, you've got this background, and you've got your text. So let's do it bit by bit. Copy, next page, paste, there, background, copy, put that in there, paste, and text, copy, paste. Oh, okay, we don't want it there, we just want it there. That's not a problem. Right, and there we have it. And so again, we can do this sort of check. That's the right way round, this is the wrong way round, goes there. So we've got here single page, double page, and more than single, 2/3, 3/4 page. This one I would actually prefer to put it that way round. Right, so that, my dear friends, is how you create your single file, which is going to be uploaded to Amazon KDP by splicing your illustrations and moving them page by page to a single file. So the next thing we're going to deal with is front matter, but just before I do that, I just wanted to draw your attention to this double page spread which we've just created. If you double click on either one of these, you'll see the entire picture and you can see how much of it has been trimmed. And I wanted to draw your attention to that because I hope you remember in my previous video I was talking about how it's really important to make your illustrations the same dimensions as a double page spread in your book. My illustrations were not created for double page spreads, which is why I've lost all of this and all of this, including, of course, the very important tail. But my illustrations were created for this size. So if I show you this, you can see all I've lost here is bits which aren't really anything at all. So the entirety of my illustration is contained on this double page spread because this is the dimension it was created for. I just wanted to mention that to illustrate the point I was trying to make in my previous video. Right, front matter. Now, even though front matter is only single pages, I think it's helpful to see it in a double page view, not least because I've just created a little square here of colour. I think it's easier to get an impression of what your book is going to look like. So if we look at this and think of this as the inside front cover, the first page is either the title of the book or it can be a blank page. But if that is a blank page, then this must also be a blank page, and this is the title of the book. The title always goes on the right-hand page. So I'm just showing you this because this is how I did mine. I didn't have a blank page to begin with. I had Lottie and the Croc, and then I had a little picture here, so I can just show you that. What I put there was this. That was too big. And what I did was if you look up here, it says corner rounding. So I made I love this little gizmo. I just rounded it in like this. So I made it smaller. Brought it in a bit. You can really play with this and you can keep going until you have exactly what you want. And I popped that in there. You can also put a little subtitle here, and at the bottom underneath the title you put the name of the author. It just is convention that you don't put by, you just put your name. So the next page, which is the back of this page, is the copyright page, and this is what I suggest you put: copyright, and then the copyright symbol is created by pressing the Alt key on your ordinary keyboard, and then moving at the same time as you're pressing that, you move to the keyboard of numbers on the right of the QWERTY keyboard and you press 0169, and that gives you this copyright symbol. Then you put the year, 2024 in my case, your name, all rights reserved, and then I've added a bit extra because I used to be a lawyer, and it's not to be used by AI for training or for generating any text or images. And you could put in without permission if you want to. The whole point about copyright is whenever you create something original, you automatically have copyright on that work. But the point of putting a copyright notice here is it's like putting up a no trespassing sign on your land. It's just a sort of little extra warning to say, clear off, don't use my stuff without my permission. Right, that's the copyright page, and the final page is the dedication page, which also goes on the right hand side, and I've just put for all children everywhere, but again this is a deeply personal thing and you can put whatever you like in there. And that's it. That is front matter. The only decision for you to make really is, do you want your title page to go there, or do you want to have two blank pages in front of it? And then of course what you do is take each element, copy it and take it over to your single page file. This comes up automatically. I'm just going to delete. If you've had it previously, it keeps repeating it. So I'm going to put paste, put it down. I'm going to copy the picture. I'm going to paste it. And I'm going to put the author, c'est moi, and I'm going to paste that there. And then on the next page, I'm going to have my copyright notice, which is this. Copy. paste. Don't think that's quite centre. There we are, that's in the centre. And on the next page, I'm going to put my dedication, copy and paste. And you'll be pleased to know that I have, of course, created a printable which deals precisely with front matter, all of these in great detail, and it's available from my shop, and I think it's only listed at about 77 or 78 pence, which is less than a second class postage stamp. Now, what you must do is go to the grid view here before you download this and then upload it to Amazon KDP. I need to put these all in the right order. So Lottie and the Croc goes at the front here. Copyright page is, whoops, come on, there. And dedication page is there. So Lottie and the Croc is an odd page. Odd pages are on the right, even pages are on the left. So as it stands, this is going to be the first page on the right in the book. If you change your mind and you decide you want to actually have 2 blank pages in front, just add an extra page here, duplicate that page, and you can put them both here. So that will be the first page, that's the second page, and then the third page, which is on the right, because even numbers are on the left, will be the title page, which is Lottie and the Croc. Back of that page is this page, and so on. Right, we are very nearly there. Just one final thing. You don't need to worry about putting in the last page of the book because Amazon KDP just do that for you automatically. But what you're going to do now is download it back onto your computer. And to do that, you go here where it says share. And then you come down to here where it says download. And then although it suggests PNG, if you're going to upload it subsequently to Amazon KDP, you want to go to PDF, not standard, but PDF print, which as you can see is best for printing. Press that. And then you come to this selection here. You want to flatten your PDF, which effectively glues all the bits on your page down, which means there's less room for either copying by naughty people or alternatively for things going wrong. And then for your colour profile, if you have upgraded either by a trial or paying for it to your professional package, this little crown means that this is only available for professional. CMYK is best for professional printing, or alternatively, if you're still like me on the free Canva, then go for RGB. So I've ticked that. And then you download onto your computer. You will find a very useful printable in the shop I've created, which is sort of rainbow coloured, which shows you all the various formats things need to be in, from the upload of your illustrations to the download to your computer, and then again for the upload to Amazon KDP. Right, we're very nearly, this is the 4th video. 5th one next is on the cover file for your book, and then the 6th one will be on how to get it up to Amazon KDP and publishing. So make sure you subscribe, you won't miss the last 2 videos in this series, and please feel free to share this video with anyone else you think might be interested in it, and give me a thumbs up because it's been a lot of work. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in video 5.